When you change your perspective, you change your life. And there is evidence of this everywhere. And I bet you can even prove this concept to be true for yourself by looking back at some of your past experiences. I'll share one of mine. I healed my 20-year history of panic attacks in just a few short weeks, only once I believed that I could. The problem finally became too big to ignore, and I said, I have to heal this. I will find a solution. And the day that I began to look was the same day that I found a solution to my problem. I reached out to a friend who recommended a book, and I went and bought the book, which talked about fear. And I learned that we create our own fear. So the fear that I was making up in my head, was then producing very real symptoms, creating my panic attacks. And when they would escalate, they knocked me unconscious. So very real, very scary. But what was creating the panic attacks was not real. So what I did was begin to shift my focus, my perspective. I started to wonder, to get curious about if maybe I could eliminate the fear, then I could possibly eliminate the panic attacks. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, but I conducted my own science experiment. So when I started to get scared that I might have a panic attack, then the symptoms would start to come on. But what I did was right away shift my perspective. I changed my focus. I distracted my brain and forced myself to think about and focus on something different. And then guess what happened? My symptoms would lessen, and ultimately I would not have a panic attack. And soon I stopped them altogether. Now, years later, after having proven this concept to myself, I now teach it to my clients that I coach. And I continue my research in self-improvement, and I keep finding the same proven research now by medical professionals, by scientists, proving the same theory. So for example, I'm currently reading a book that talks about healing chronic pain. And it says how chronic pain is fear-based. It's written by Alan Gordon. He's the founder and director of the Pain Psychology Center. And chapter 4 is called Embracing a New Perspective. Now, I also research psychiatrist, Dr. Jeffrey Schwartz, and he talks about the 4 steps to changing your brain. And these 4 steps can help you feel better faster and also help you eliminate those deep-seated triggers. And his step number 2 is reframe, and his step number 3 is refocus, all about shifting your perspective. We each have the power to shift our perspective, to change our focus, which means you have the power to change and to create your life.